Millions of people see that high cholesterol number on their lab report and immediately feel a wave of confusion and worry, thinking it's an inevitable part of their future. Imagine if I told you that just 5 simple questions could help you take charge of your cholesterol, lower your heart risk, and boost your overall health, without spending hours lost in confusing medical jargon. Isn't that just super cool? I mean, who wouldn't want to dive into that? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what those 5 key questions are, why their answers are so critical, and how you can use this knowledge to start making smarter choices for your heart, starting today. When a doctor mentions high cholesterol, it can feel like a sudden, complicated diagnosis. Simple pleasures like enjoying a weekend brunch or choosing a favorite snack can suddenly feel fraught with anxiety. Most people react by either panicking and overhauling their entire diet overnight or feeling so overwhelmed that they do nothing at all. But few realize that the real path to managing cholesterol begins not with drastic measures, but with clear, simple knowledge. Every day, your body produces and uses cholesterol for vital functions like making hormones and building cells. But when the balance of good HDL and bad LDL cholesterol is thrown off, it starts to silently build up in your arteries, creating plaque. This process happens without any symptoms, a quiet threat that builds up over years. But here's the good news. A little bit of knowledge can be a powerful tool. By understanding the fundamentals, you can demystify this condition, partner with your doctor effectively, and make confident, sustainable changes to protect your arteries from the inside out. Let me tell you about Sarah. She's 58, a busy grandmother, and was recently diagnosed with high cholesterol. She felt completely lost, thinking she'd have to give up all the foods she loved. But by asking these 5 simple questions, she found a clear path forward that didn't feel like a punishment. So, let's dive into the 5 most common and important questions about treating high cholesterol. First, the most common question of all. Do I really need to take medication, or can I fix this with diet alone? This is the million-dollar question, and the answer is deeply personal. For many people, especially those with moderately elevated levels and no other major risk factors like high blood pressure or diabetes, lifestyle changes are the first line of defense. A heart-healthy diet rich in fiber, healthy fats, and plant sterols, combined with regular exercise, can be incredibly powerful. Many individuals successfully lower their LDL cholesterol by 10 to 20% through these changes alone. Your doctor will likely suggest a 3 to 6 month period of dedicated lifestyle modification to see how your body responds. However, if your cholesterol is dangerously high, if you have a family history of heart disease, or if you already have plaque in your arteries, medication like statins might be essential from the start. Think of it this way. Diet and exercise are like building a stronger dam to hold back the water, while medication is like opening a spillway to immediately lower the water level. Sometimes you need both to prevent a flood. The key is to see it not as an either-or choice, but as a partnership. Medication can provide the powerful reduction needed to protect you right now, while a healthy lifestyle ensures your long-term wellness and can often lead to a lower required dose of medication over time. The second question people always ask is, what are the worst foods for cholesterol, and what should I eat instead? For decades, we were told to fear dietary cholesterol, found in foods like eggs and shrimp. But modern science has shown that for most people, saturated and trans fats have a much greater impact on blood cholesterol levels. The real villains in your diet are often processed foods, fatty cuts of red meat, full-fat dairy products, and commercially baked goods made with hydrogenated oils. These are the foods that directly fuel your liver's production of LDL cholesterol. So, what should you eat instead? The answer isn't about deprivation, It's about smart swaps. Instead of butter, use avocado or olive oil. Instead of a steak, opt for fatty fish like salmon, which is packed with omega-3 fatty acids that can actually help lower triglycerides and support heart health. The single most powerful addition to your diet is soluble fiber. Found in oats, barley, apples, Brussels sprouts, and beans, soluble fiber acts like a sponge in your digestive system, soaking up cholesterol and carrying it out of your body before it can get into your bloodstream. Aiming for just 10 grams of soluble fiber a day, the amount in a bowl of oatmeal and an apple, can have a measurable impact. This leads us to our third question. How much does exercise really help, and what kind is best? Many people underestimate the power of movement. While exercise doesn't lower LDL, the bad cholesterol, as dramatically as diet does, it plays a starring role in a different way. It is one of the most effective ways to raise your HDL, or good cholesterol. HDL acts like a garbage truck, scavenging for excess cholesterol in your arteries and transporting it back to the liver for disposal. The higher your HDL, the more efficient this cleanup crew becomes. You don't need to become a marathon runner to see benefits. The key is consistency. Aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate-intensity aerobic activity per week. That could be a brisk 30-minute walk 5 days a week, a dance class, cycling, or swimming. Anything that gets your heart rate up and makes you breathe a bit harder counts. Incorporating some resistance training, like lifting weights or using resistance bands, 2 days a week is also beneficial, as building muscle mass can help improve your overall metabolic health. The best exercise is the one you enjoy and will stick with. The fourth question is one that often brings a sense of frustration. I'm thin, and I eat pretty well, so why is my cholesterol high? This is a crucial point that reveals a common misconception. Cholesterol is not just a weight issue. While being overweight is a risk factor, genetics play a huge role. Some people inherit genes from their parents that cause their bodies to produce too much LDL cholesterol or struggle to clear it from the blood. This condition, known as familial hypercholesterolemia, can cause very high cholesterol levels even in people who are young, fit, and follow a perfect diet. Furthermore, factors like chronic stress, poor sleep, and certain medical conditions like an underactive thyroid can also contribute to elevated cholesterol. It's important not to blame yourself. Your cholesterol level is a complex interplay of genetics, lifestyle, and overall health. Understanding this can help you move from self-criticism to proactive problem-solving with your doctor, focusing on the factors you can control without carrying a burden of guilt for the ones you can't. Finally, our fifth and final question. How long will it take to see results, and how often should I get checked? This is where patience becomes your greatest ally. The changes you make today won't be reflected on a lab test tomorrow. When you make significant diet and exercise changes, it generally takes about 3 to 6 months for those efforts to translate into a measurable difference in your lipid panel. This is why your doctor will typically schedule a follow-up blood test after that period to assess your progress. Once your cholesterol levels are under control, whether through lifestyle changes, medication, or both, you won't need to be tested as frequently. For most people managing their cholesterol, an annual checkup is sufficient to ensure things are still on track. However, if your doctor adjusts your medication, or if you have a significant change in your health or lifestyle, they may want to check it more often. The key is to view cholesterol management not as a short-term fix, but as a lifelong commitment to your health. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and these regular check-ins are simply mile markers on your journey to a healthier heart.